In our Sustainability Perspectives series, complementing the Sustainability Awards 2020 and the Sustainable Packaging Summit, we're sharing interviews with thought leaders from across the packaging value chain. And I'm delighted to speak today with three experts from Taghleef Industries about their vision for building a true circular economy in flexibles and labeling. We have Monica Battistella, who is Product Manager and Sustainability Advisor, Mario Molinaro, Business Director for Flexible Packaging in the EU region, and Simone Baldin, who is Business Unit Manager for Labels Europe. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Mario Molinaro, could I ask you, first of all, to start this interview by giving us an overview of the strategic challenges that Taghleef Industries is responding to around sustainability?
Okay, so thank you, Tim, for your question and for the introduction. First of all, I have to tell you that TI is basically looking with a strong, let's say, interest to the new mega trends coming in the market, especially on the sustainability approach and circular economy. And I have to tell you that today, TI, everything we do is under, let's say, the sustainability approach. We have created a set of initiatives that we will call dynamic cycle to respond to this. So the second point that we see very, let's say, challenging for us is the dilemma between the food waste and the excess of packaging or packaging waste, as you call it. So, and then our target is to balance basically the under design packaging with the over design packaging to find the optimal, let's say, packaging solution. So because the target for us is to combine basically performance and high recyclability of the packaging solutions in order to reduce the environmental impact and to be more sustainable at the end of the day. These are, let's say, the main points that we have in front of us today.
Thanks, Mario. And how has the packaging division of Taghleef responded to the challenges that you've just described?
So basically, I think what we did is, first of all, we did a clear market analysis in order to identify all the segments and the needs of the segments in the market. So the second point, after this analysis, what we did, we respond to three main aspects of the packaging solutions that for us as let's say very important and very critical and key, in the packaging solutions. One is the seal integrity of the packaging, so to avoid any contamination and to have safety and protection of the food. The second is the need of barrier, so to achieve the proper barrier for that solution that we need to respond. And the last one is in the packaging is the heat resistant ability. So these three elements together are basically, with these three elements, we want to create the optimal packaging solution, responding as well on the approach of the circular economy. Obviously, when we did this activity, the other point that is very important for us and we implement is the redesign of the packaging. Redesign approach for us is an important element because we may discuss with our, let's say, stakeholders and understand which are the critical needs from them. And we respond basically substituting traditional packaging solutions with more sustainable and innovative solution to best meet customer specific packaging requirement. That is the target that we have every day, that we do every day. So in this respect, we have good examples available already in the market because we start with the more simple segments, but now we go more and more deeper. So what we have is a wide range of PP-based solutions, traditionally in PP, that combine with our as well high barrier and high performance product Extendo can really respond to the today market needs. So we go to replace alu foil, we go to replace polyester, let's say polyamide, and PVDC replacement as well. That is another high topic in the market. So, but not only in our, let's say, flexible packaging, let's say, business unit, we have even a possibility to offer bio-based solutions that can be anyway coming from renewable resources, can be in the stream of polypropylene, or in the stream of bio-based and biodegradable products. So in that case, we have a Nativia range of products. So I think that we respond with a variety of solutions that try to respond to the issues that we have today in the market. So in combination with this, we have even a new portfolio called Relife that is transversal to the films that we produce, because with this Relife portfolio, we would like to introduce new concepts like post-consumer chemical recycling into the packaging, certified ISCC, or post-consumer mechanical recycling products, or increase dramatically the reprocessed granules in the films. This in order to reduce the amount of CO2 and to reutilize the resources that are already available. So always towards the fact that we would like to offer this sustainable solution. So we have this package of solutions that, from our point of view, are very innovative and very, let's say, strong to give the right answer to the complexity that we have in the packaging. So just to conclude, I think that by far the flexible packaging is the most sustainable way how to pack products, because the light of the flexible packaging, what we want to do here is to combine this already sustainable, let's say, approach of the flexible with all, let's say, the other aspects that are recyclability and let's say the better, let's say, performance in the market. So the ambition from our side is going even over to replace the rigid solutions to be even more sustainable with our, let's say, performing flexible products.
Thanks very much, Mario. I'd like to turn now to Simone Baldin, who, as business unit manager for labels, I'm hoping you can describe for us how the labeling division is responding to the same circularity challenges that Mario has just been talking about.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Tim. I would say that being in the plastic industries, these are really the challenge of the industry. And as Mario said, for the labels as well, we have, let's say, two main challenges. So reduce the use of plastic and be sure that the plastic could be then recycled. The reduce of the use of plastic is a trend that in the labeling industry is ongoing since years, and includes both reducing the thickness of the film used and reducing the weight of the film, so having film with lighter density. For sure, this cannot be done just by the film users, but need then that the whole chain is organized through that. So then a lighter film has to be converted and should be then used in the application. So that's also the technological development of the different markets that helps to reduce the plastic, the use of the plastic. And the second point, as also Mario said, is to make more recyclable. So here there are different segments in labels, and every segment is approaching in a slightly different way the situation. We have, for example, a PP label on a PP container that it's a quite easy way for us, because the different density of the two materials permit to keep the stream of polyester, a recycled stream of polyester, quite clean by separating the polypropylene. It's a little bit more complicated when you have a polypropylene or polyethylene container. In this case, also the other actors of the chain, so glues and inks has an impact. And so that's why we try to work together with the other actors of the chain. In this case, we know that the recycle stream tried to separate the label before the grinding of the material. And when it's not possible, like on a shrink sleeve, where the sleeve really shrink on the container, in this case, we create a low density polyolefin film, shrink film, that could be separated after the regrinding. So when the material is in flakes, the difference of density within the PET and the polyolefin make it really easy to separate the two streams. And then the last thing that Mario already mentioned is valid for labels as well. And this, as he said, goes for all the segments, flexible and labels and also technical films. We are trying to use as much recycled material into our films. And this is, let's say, our first way. So as Mario said, we have the opportunity to use our internal regrain and waste material that is food approved and that has an impact on the carbon footprint of the final film, or to use the post-consumer recycled material, both chemical and mechanical. And I would add another way, that is to use the biopolymers, in this case the bio-PP, that also have an impact on the carbon footprint, so on the environmental impact of our film. We have to say as last that to do that, there's a huge work that the company is doing, because to manage post-consumer recycled chemical and the BOPP, we are ISCC certified. So to grant all the chain that the things are done properly and all the products are managed on the proper way. And recently we have also been certified as ISO 14067 for the management and the calculation of the carbon footprint, and 1464 for the greenhouse gas emission and control.
Thanks very much, Simone. And now I'd like to have a word with Monica Battistella. So, Monica, as Taghleef's sustainability advisor, could I ask you to share your perhaps more overarching view of the holistic sustainability picture that contextualizes the challenges and initiatives that Mario and Simone have just described?
Yes, Tim. Thank you very much for the question. You said correctly that Mario and Simone have gone through our products, our solutions. Well, our solutions are actually part of what we call dynamic cycle. Mario briefly mentioned that we have this dynamic cycle, which is, as a matter of fact, a set of initiatives within Taghleef Industries, which is representing specific, let's say, areas. The ones that Simone and Mario have introduced are mainly related to the solution, so our portfolio, which is already covering many opportunities for our customers. It goes from the use of bio-based resources, so coming from renewable resources other than fossil-based resources. We have our high barrier films, which are supporting a lot in the redesign approach, so in supporting our customer to redesign their packaging and switching from traditional, maybe multi-material structures, which very often are not recyclable, into more sustainable, because recyclable, because lighter, because fitting an existing recycling stream. And last but not least, our real life portfolio, which is basically encompasses all the solutions that we have and which make use of PCR, so post-consumer resin, coming either from a chemical recycling stream or a mechanical recycling stream, and last but not least, reprocessed granules coming from our own production, which, as Simone has mentioned, we believe has still its own value, because end of day it's supporting a saving on the use of limited fossil resources. Well, this is our solutions. Part of the solutions we have, of course, the redesign, which is, let's say, copy and paste. It can be used for any applications that we have, be it flexible or label or whatever, also known food applications, for instance, in the market. But these come together also with commitments that we have inside and outside Taghleef Industries, our corporate goals, or like investments, our human resources, our operations, they proceed and they make investments having as a final objective their sustainability. So, for instance, if investments are made even in production, we look also at the impact when it comes to energy consumption, water consumption. So it's transversal end of the day. It's not only about the products, but it's about the company, it's about the group, how we can support being more sustainable inside and with the others. What we have not mentioned yet is the fact that our solutions, they come together with the services. And the services represent the initiatives that we have for our customers. Basically, when we support them in finding new solutions, it's not that we approach them by giving the name of a film only. So we try to identify what their needs are, and we provide a solution which comes along with some tailor-fit services, like, for instance, LCA studies, so that our customer can be sure that the new solution is not going to be, let's say, made out of PP-based materials, but it's also more sustainable when it comes to environmental impact. So in these LCA analyses, we have different parameters which are taken into consideration. And for each of them, what we try to do is a comparison between a traditional solution, taking into consideration the materials which are used in that solution, and the new materials. And along with LCA analyses, we have different collaborations with the main institutions which provide recyclability certifications to validate the proposal. So it's not enough saying, okay, this is our proposal to you, this is the project, this is the final application that you can achieve, but have a look at the impact that the new solution can have for your packaging. This is a part of the communication, part of the information that we believe our own customers can use for the final consumers. We believe this is an important tool because consumers are very often driven by perception. So what is perceived to be more sustainable is sometimes not really more sustainable in terms of number and figures, and this is why it is important to provide data along with solutions which are such only on the paper. And our commitment, our services are also supported and confirmed by the initiatives that we have outside the company with institutions such as CFlex, such as Recyclas, to name only a few, but we are present not only in Europe, we have associations that we are supporting also in US, APR is one of them, just to mention one, and different initiatives which are also local, so present in specific countries like Germany or France or UK. So we try to have a global view, a global perspective of what is happening in the packaging industry, having as I said, a global perspective, but a local understanding. So regional understanding of what is going on in Europe as a total region, but even within Europe in the specific countries. We have been talking quite a lot in the last months about this plastic tax, which is coming up, which is being announced, but the way actually countries are reacting is quite individual. So we know what was announced in Italy already last year and is supposed to actually be implemented in July next year. We know what is being already announced in UK, and it's coming into force in 2022. So we see that there's a direction, but the way countries will lead or will, let's say, reach the final destination is quite different. So it's quite challenging. And to have a better understanding, we cannot be alone in our journey. That's why we are very happy to be in collaboration and supporting other stakeholders in this journey. And that's why we strongly support association, as I said, as a CFlex or Recyclas, because it's only being together and coming together that we can actually understand and reach the final destination. So basically, this is our approach inside and outside. It's made of clear understanding when we think about our objectives, our strategy inside the company, but having very well clear in mind what is happening outside our own reality outside.
Thanks very much, Monica. Some really interesting points you made there. Also building on what you said about CFlex and related initiatives, I suppose anyone following sustainability and flexibles and particularly the big picture of what CFlex and Recyclas, etc., are doing is aware of a significant amount of progress that the industry has made overall. But we don't want to purely congratulate ourselves and say how much have we done, we're great. We want also to think about what the next steps are, and so I'd like to throw out open to anyone of you who'd like to talk about this a final question, which is, where do you see the upcoming challenges and the next steps that we need to make in this ongoing mission? And I guess we can apply this question both to Taghleef internally, what is next on your agenda, and what you see as the most important things that you want to see the value chain as a whole achieving in the coming months and years.
So maybe I can try to start and give my reply first. Well, as I said, there's a lot which has already been done, but there's also a lot which needs to be done. We should not forget that a lot has been done in the industry, within the industry, but there's one important piece which is missing, and which is the final consumer. And to be successful in this journey, we need to have a higher involvement of final consumers in understanding what their function, what their position is. There's a lot which needs to be done in terms of legislation to have a better harmonization of the rules, fair rules. A lot which needs to be done in terms of investments to create the real infrastructure for the collection. Let's not forget, if we do not have any collection, we may not have any sorting, and we will not have any recycling. A lot needs to be done in creating new outlets, value markets, because to complete the circularity, we need to make sure that this material which is recycled is coming back to the initial application. So it's quite a big challenge from this perspective, and we should not forget that recyclability is in one important part of the sustainability topic. There's another important topic which is not very often raised, which is global warming. And all the actions that we are having within the recyclability concept are going to have an impact on this aspect as well, but there is so much more than we can do about it. And it is not very, very often brought to the attention of the stakeholders. So sometimes when people are taking into consideration the redesign, for instance, or the planning, the project of a new packaging, they are just taking into consideration, maybe, I'm using a recyclable material, maybe I'm meeting the consumer's expectations, but they are not really measuring if their strategy is actually also meeting or completing the needs to stop the global warming. Because, as I said, sometimes something which appears to be sustainable or better for the environment should be compared with data to really see if this is the best choice for the environment. And since most of the times when decisions are taken because of consumers' perception, if consumers are not educated and they do not really understand what sort of impact a packaging or their behavior can have, well, it's I don't want to say that all the efforts are lost, but for sure we will have much more difficulties in reaching the final goal. I was actually reading an article a few days ago. They have just made some masks, so masks that we are all wearing to protect ourselves and to protect the others from the COVID-19 spreading. They just created these masks in some material which is supposed to biodegrade in the environment, but if we follow that strategy, then I think we will all lose, because if we accept that people are allowed to just dispose or just lose whatever they are wearing or they are using in the environment, then it's going to be a lost fight, in my perception. So that's why I say consumers need to be taken on board, and the sooner the better, because otherwise we are going to lose an important aspect of these fights. And being responsible even in the daily small thing is a important part of the game.
Monica, if I may, thank you for your comments. I think they're very important. If I may add, I think the education you already told that is a key element. Another key element for us is the collaboration in the value chain. I think that because this question is our problem, is from all of us. We were all involved in this. It's not only TI that can save the world. I think that all together, if we cooperate and we find innovative solutions, we can respond to this problem. And this is reason why to be in CFlex, to be in other organizations, give us the light, give us the understanding of the questions, of the problems of other stakeholders into the value chain. And that is a key element. If we want to talk more internally as a challenge for flexible packaging, I think that I told you before that we did a clear market segmentation from our side. And obviously, if we need to respond with our innovative solutions in the packaging, we need to consider that some of these solutions require a very high, let's say, level of performance that are still a challenge for us, but we are daily working with our R&D teams and so on to give a proper answer in order to have a structure that is sustainable and recyclable. And that is our, let's say, mission. We have the ambition that with our solutions we can cover, let's say, all the segments of the market. So it's still not done. We are working on it, but that is our target. So, and to do this, we need the collaboration of all the stakeholders, from raw material suppliers to, let's say, additives, to the converters, and let's say brand owners, recycling companies, consumer. We need to be all united in the same direction to resolve these questions, and as Monica mentioned, at the end of the day, to change or to reduce the climate change at the level that is sustainable for the future.
I do not have so much to add, just because I think that being this discussion so transversal is not really dedicated to flexible or labels. When we come to sustainability, the company has taken one direction and is giving through the direction, cooperating with all the stakeholders of the supply chain. So I absolutely agree with Monica and Mario on what they said. And I think that the same solutions could be replicated on both flexible and labels.
Thanks very much, Simone, and thank you very much, Mario and Monica, as well, for your reflections there. I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. You can hear more from Taghleef Industries and many other sustainability pioneers and thought leaders throughout the series of virtual Sustainable Packaging Summit panels and workshops, which are available to watch on demand via the event platform packagingsummit.earth/join. So thanks very much to Monica, Mario, and Simone for joining me today. And thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Goodbye.